The new government is preparing to put forward its proposal for European Development Funds EDF 11 in line with the National Strategic Development Plans. The European Development Fund is the main instrument for providing community development aid in the African, Caribbean and Pacific countries and the overseas countries and territories. The key areas for cooperation include economic development, social and human development, as well as regional cooperation and integration. It is expected that NUE's allocation in EDF 11 will amount to 2.5 million euros or $5 million. Premier Tokitalangi says that renewable energy will continue to be the focus of EDF 11 that should be implemented over the next few years.
Well, EDF 11 is due to begin a few years down next year or the year after. What we need to do is advise the EU about what we intended to use the money for. About 2.5 million euros that we're looking at, over 5 million using. And what they want to do is to see whether which particular sector we will wish to continue with or start. In our case, the suggestion at the present moment from Cabinet is to have a look at continuing the renewable energy program that we have with the EU at the present time. The idea is so that we can increase our capacity for solar generated power from what we have at the present moment up to 80 to 90%, so that we can save on fuel that we're importing. There is also an element, as people are aware, where the VCs also, or the community has funds that are made available. The funds that are made available for EDF 10 has been now earmarked to be used for Liolo School. EDF 9, Mutalo, Hakupu, Tamotonga and Navaseli also receives some funds. So essentially the meeting with the VCs is to talk to them about what the government is thinking of doing and to seek their views about what they see as being important to them for the community funds, as well as whether they see the direction that we're taking with respect to renewable energy is the same as they see at the present time. Part of the reasons why we're meeting with the VCs and other interested parties tomorrow or Thursday is to determine whether they agree with the principles of what the government is trying to do at the present time with respect to that. Let me say that the EU funds are not necessarily funds that we can say, this is what we want, do that, easily. We've got to stick within the bounds of what we have agreed to, in principle, based on the strategic plan that we have. So anything outside of that strategic plan, for example, if we were to go into tourism, what exactly are we going to do that New Zealand is not doing or the Chinese are not doing for us, because they are intending to do that. As well as that, the EU has also contributed towards the economic accommodation development in City. So it's all part and parcel of what I believe to be a cogent plan for the development of our economy into the future.
Despite delays due to land issues relating to Liolo development, Honourable Premier Tahalangi says that government did have a backup plan for development on land near the youth centre. However, those plans are now on hold as the courts have returned with a decision.
The judges have made the decision, they've given that to us. We can now go ahead with the plans that were originally planned for the school to be converted into accommodation, come lecture, come facility for the village of Avasili, but using a trust concept to allow the other villages to participate as well. The government is going to take the lead in this and work with the villages as well as the village of Avasili clearly to enable us to think. Our plans are at the present moment is to start this project really early in next year, and we're in the final processes of presenting to the EU the final concept ideas, as well as to present within the next few weeks the designs that we have in place for the Liolo developments.
The meeting with village councils will be held at the Whalewhānau on Thursday, the 1st of November at 2 p.m. Honourable Premier Tokitalangi says the European Union is expecting a report of government's intentions by next week. The sudden death of Chief Executive Officer of Pacific Media Network, Tom Harley-Ituata, over the weekend has sent shockwaves around the Pacific media community, especially Niue. Mr. Ituata was born in Niue and started with 531 PI in 2003. However, he became Chief Executive for Pacific Media Network in 2009. Pacific Media Network is the controlling arm of 531 PI and Niue FM in New Zealand. Whilst at the top job, Mr. Ituata proposed and implemented many developmental projects for the Pacific and Niue. Broadcasting Minister for Niue, Honourable Minister Joan Williamu, said she was shocked to hear of the sudden passing, especially someone young, and she remembered Tom when he travelled to Niue for her department's health and fitness program. She said Tom Ituata is one Niuean who has achieved great success in his field of media internationally, and he will be sorely missed by the island's media family. BCN's General Manager, Trevor Siakia, said the corporation is greatly saddened to hear of the news over the weekend and wish to pass his deepest condolences to Tom Ituata's family on the island and in New Zealand. The memorial service for Mr. Ituata will be held at the Ecclesia Cristiana Tuapa this Thursday. The Asbestos Program, which includes the removal and re-roofing of asbestos material from occupied homes, is about to start. According to Government Representative Honourable Dalton Tangilangi, the project will be looking at re-roofing 9 homes first, then continue with the rest in the future. Unfortunately, he could not advise if that can be guaranteed, after government advised the removal of the toxic materials of the surface for health reasons. At present, the removal phase will see approximately 8 different contractors undertake the job. The start of the workshop for safe removal of the toxic material will also begin this week, with a company originally assigned the task for best solution for the removal of asbestos. It is estimated that the cost will be just over $200,000. New Zealand Mint is sponsoring 2 local students to travel to New Zealand and join the Outward Bound program. Chief Executive for New Zealand Mint, Simon Harding, said they are very pleased to make the announcement, as this program is part of fostering relationships between New Zealand Mint and Niue.
As part of our partnership with Niue, New Zealand Mint are sponsoring 2 scholarships annually to enable 2 Niuean students, or they don't even be students, to go to the Outward Bound course in Anakiwa in New Zealand. I don't know whether you're familiar with the course, but it's either a 2 or 4 week outdoor adventure, character building, team development. It's a great experience, and we're very pleased to participate in allowing and enabling some Niuean students to attend. I'm very pleased that I've had discussions with your Premier, and he's very supportive of the scheme, and I've also had discussions with the New Zealand High Commission here, and he is also very supportive of the scheme. And in fact, the selection panel will be asking both the Niuean government to nominate a representative, the New Zealand High Commission to have a representative, and there'll be a 3rd representative from the New Zealand Mint, and that'll form the selection panel.
The nomination process is not as rigorous, but Mr. Harding does have some advice for those who are interested in joining the program.
I think they should have a positive attitude towards it. It's going to be a new experience for most people, as you know from experience, and just to get the most they can possibly get out, and then maybe take some of the lessons they learn and take it back to their community here and apply those lessons and share them. We'll be looking for people who display characteristics of leadership. We're looking for people with character who can give back to the community, people who have a positive attitude and can make the most of the experience. So I just suggest they get involved in whatever they can and make the most of whatever opportunities they have.
Many young people who have joined the program have thoroughly enjoyed the program that I recommend, having partake in the same program in previous years. Niue Tourism is geared up and ready to host the inaugural Niue Rockman Rockwoman next week, with thousands of dollars worth of prizes up for grabs. The triathlon event will be spaced over a 4-day period, with the 3 days focused on individual events, but the program is pretty flexible, according to Niue Tourism Director Hayden Porter.
We've tried to be really flexible with the program to ensure that we get a reasonable amount of interest and I guess cope with different fitness levels and skills and bits and pieces. This is the first one, and like all first events, you've got to start somewhere, so we want to sort of give people a taste of it this year, and we certainly expect a lot bigger numbers next year. But how it works is there are 4 separate days of events. We start with the rock run. I think that's the first event from memory, and that is a 8-kilometre run through bush and road tracks. It's quite a nice run actually, and will be reasonably challenging at stages. But most people could cope with it, even if they do a few kilometres and then walk some. We want to see as many people participating there. You don't need to run at all. And then we've got the ocean swim, which is a 1-kilometre swim, which is through the mooring field. So we have 3 buoys remaining in the yacht club mooring field, and those buoys are the markers of the course, and we'll have safety support and so on in there. We have the rock bike as well, which is a blend of Round the Rock and Rally of the Rock all in one. It's a 40-kilometre bike ride through various bush tracks, open road, and around the bottom roads of Niue, across some of our existing mountain bike tracks and so on as well. So again, it'll have quite a bit of challenge, but most fitness levels could actually cope with it if they do it at their own pace as well. And there's various categories that people can enter in terms of age groups, sex and so on. So male and females, veterans and so on.
There are a few international competitors expected, but the hope is that the majority will be made up of locals. As they complete the final details, they're also looking for volunteers that can help take down times and other duties to ensure the event run according to plan. The office is taking in registrations and hope for great representation as they round off 2 events for the year.
Simply come down to the Visitor Information Centre. You can register up until 4 o'clock the day before any of the races. You'll get issued with a race pack, which has the maps of all the courses. You get a really cool swimming cap that comes with it for the swim, and you'll be talked through how it all works. We really do want to encourage locals to go on this. It's as much we want it to become an iconic event in Niue as the Rally of the Rockers already, and we get a lot of locals going into that. It's been fantastic to see the amount that have already registered, but if you're thinking about it, do it. Don't just think about it, because you can take it at whatever pace you like, and as long as you have fun and get in there and compete, you could even win some prizes. Who knows?
For Niue Tourism, they are testing out the waters to see how the event goes and look to use lessons learned in preparation to market the event more aggressively next year. But for those of you thinking of taking up the challenge, dust off the running shoes, take the bike for a spin and take a shot at winning some great prizes. The Niue Rockman Rockwoman events will begin on Monday the 5th of November to Thursday the 8th of November. And to end our news bulletin for tonight, Mutalau Show Day this year was a bright and sky blue affair as the colours of the village reflect the mood of the day. Clear blue skies and scorching sun forced most punters to travel early to the show. At mid-morning, most have retreated back to their homes. Mutalau, who have always had abundance of agricultural products, was looking pretty tired this year, just like other villages who recently had their show days. Even though the lush green of taro leaves usually present in Ululota over the years, they still managed to display many of the tapioca and yams and a few bananas in their variety of products. Most obvious that weather conditions are too dry is the Unga section that had a couple of lonely cowboys crawling around the marquee. The food stalls, though, were abundant and plentiful this year, with plenty of scrumptious food, with one having corns growing in front of the stall. Show days cannot be without the entertainments, and Mutalo youngsters from the Boys Brigade and Girls Brigade entertain the crowd. The young youth of the village show they too can bring as much attention to their well-rehearsed performance, ending with the opposite of the right side. The village council and people of Mutalo would like to thank those who attended the show and all who supported the Mutalo Show Day for 2012. And that's our news bulletin for tonight. Good evening.